It's my first talk on English, and also I have talk for Java developers. Usually I communicate on conference with JavaScript developers. Actually, I am writing my code on TypeScript, and so let's start. First of all, I want to share with you these two QR codes. They will not help you to win any t-shirts, as you can see for recruiters and girls. The first QR code will help you participate in some pools, what I will use during my talk. And second one is linked to slides. Okay, so today we are talking regarding Backend For Frontend, the missing manual. During this talk, I will not share with you a lot regarding pattern with microservices and sharing code between backend and frontend. My idea of this talk not make frontend developers think. And it will be regarding techniques and approaches what can help you as backend developer make you work better during communication with other person who writing on JavaScript. Okay, so let me introduce myself. I am program committee member of JS Fest conference, what will be during next week. I'm writing my code usually for startups from Silicon Valley or from startups from Europe. So I'm working as remote developer. And I believe that software is easy, people are hard. And I hope as a result of this talk, you will more efficient during cooperation with front-end guys. Okay, so again, QR codes. If you didn't use them, please do that. And I want to ask you, can you vote during this pool? What main program language do you use? Because according to what I see now, some of you is Java developers, some of you is architects. Okay, we have the first vote. Could you add me a little bit more? I want to involve you to using Slido. Okay. I will do something like that one more time. Yeah. TypeScript. No, come on, guys. Everybody have mobile phones. I want to more answers here. Also, you can press on your mobile phones slide.do and then use Devoxx hash code, and I will not use this QR code all the time. Okay, we have only 3 voices. I will come back to this stuff one more time. Oh, 9, awesome, Kotlin, cool. We have votes more and more. And I hope you will also ask questions. JavaScript, yeah, the first one. Node.js, come on, Node.js, it's not program language. It's framework based on JavaScript. YoptaScript? A good one. I think it's the guy who speaker from ITConf. You remember this stuff? Okay, I hope during this talk we will have fun, and let's start. So, what problem we have during working with any IT solution? IT solution right now is awesome because of cheap repeatability. But as a result of that, very often we reinvent the wheel. And my idea of this talk, stop reinvent the wheel. Okay, as I said, I'm working with Silicon Valley, and we going to start with terms. When we speak regarding front-end and back-end, client and server, current approach, it looks like that. On back-end, you have some web API, and front-end, you can have mobile application, you can have single-page application. It can be implemented with some SPA framework. It can be implemented with Java in Android. It can be implemented with Swift. It can be implemented in different way. But my idea is that right now we're talking not regarding traditional page life cycle. When client make initial request, receive HTML, and then you will have on any action from user, you will need to reload full page. We're talking regarding SPA lifecycle. When initial request provide you HTML code, and then you will have some AJAX request or fetch or any type of that, but you will not have such situation. Actually, maybe you can see here some joke regarding the PHP developers, but I cannot make jokes on Java or JavaScript developers, so somebody should be kamikaze. Okay. What business issue we have with such approach? Because all the time, first things first, and business issue right now, client development, it's too expensive. Right now, if you checked Ukrainian market, salary for front-end developers who has smaller experience, for example, 2-3 years, and they received senior at title and similar salary. When you as Java developers should work 5-10 years to receive the same money, it's not right. But it's reality, because right now front-end development is too complicated and the business too much needs these developers. That's why market answers as that way. Why it happens? Everybody remember browser wars when it was with some Google, Firefox, Internet Explorer. Nobody uses it right now, but it was reality. And if you think browser war is finished, it's not true. Right now we have only 2 engines for running JavaScript, but if you will check different browser-specific API, you will see that a very big problem. I don't say regarding just visualize some simple tables, but if you, for example, try to adopt 2 years ago push for HTTP2, one of the killer feature what we think, it's not was impossible because every browser implemented in different way. That's why front-end developer right now should know too many things, and please don't make them think again and again. So right now it's one of useful links what you can receive as takeaway from my talk. You can see that browser API right now so rich, so you can implement almost any desktop application in browser. This is awesome. And business wants these new features faster and faster. For example, 2 months ago when new iOS feature with dark and white themes was introduced, a lot of businesses, startups, what I'm working with, they request, hey, we need this feature, please add that. And front-end frameworks answers on that and provide this feature. If you will check additional requirements, what front-end developers should do, it's adaptive design, it should be implemented with SEO-friendly titles, etc., etc. And the last but not the least, I'm so happy when front-end developers has problem with performance, because when your SPA application lives 30 minutes and you made stupid trivial mistakes and you don't clean links to object what you don't use, you have problems. And Google Chrome, for example, is very expensive for your memory laptop. Everybody knows that. So as a result of that, it's actually some funny pictures. I want to provide you some fun. EOS release, and You received call, and after that, I should say something regarding how complicated development for mobile developers. And I don't want to make a lot talking about that. It's just one of most liked stuff. Oh, this guy here. Hi. I will not read it, all the things of that. If somebody don't know Russian, you can ask the author of that. And yeah, also he has awesome Telegram channel, and it's one of links. I didn't know he will be here. Yeah, thank you. It's cool. I am reading your Telegram channel. Okay, so in short, if you try to implement mobile application with hybrid development, it's very painful, believe me. Okay, right now I want to ask you, what SPA framework do your team use? I know that I will not receive more than 20 answers, but let me try to better understand. Okay, we received some answers. I bet that the most answer will be regarding Angular, because Angular second is with TypeScript, and Java developers like typing. Oh, React also received a lot. Oh my God, I received also some questions. Cool. I will definitely answer most of them. So, I will go to next, and we will review answer of these pools at the end of my talk. I want to provide you after this business problem, because front-end development is very expensive. I want to share with you some historical fact. I think everybody know small company Netflix, and I like Simpsons, and this Disenchantment soap serial, my favorite one. Right now, I'm improving my English during watching this serial. Do you know this actor? Do you know this serial, soap serial? And actually, it was the first one what was created inside Netflix. I'm talking about that because during this moment, Netflix received a lot of money for improve technical stuff. And guys at the same time publish a Netflix technology blog outcome how they improve technical stack, technical infrastructure. And my idea of this blog post and conference talk, what you can find on internet, that they redefined the border between client and server. They provide client developers implement stuff on backend. And this is my idea, because when you don't have problem to communication between front-end and back-end guys, because you have new role at the team as backend for front-end developer. Of course, almost every backend for backend developer will do his work on Java, because it's very, very mature and senior technology. But right now, if you will check Silicon Valley reality, backend for frontend usually implemented with Node.js, because it's faster to and better utilizing. So, regarding backend for frontend pattern, I should say several words because it's related to name of my topic. Right now, traditional way when you have for different client, you have different backends with different database, or maybe it will be shared, but usually in traditional way, what was implemented before, ideas from Netflix, you had a requirement to re-implement features again and again a different source code. It was not right decision from business point of view, because you should waste your time, waste your money, not waste, fire. Okay, so right now you can see two different approaches, like API gateway when you have different services. You can hear them as microservices in different tracks, or you can have something like that when you have mobile backend for frontend and web for backend for frontend. I believe better one is this one, but it depends on your project. What is important here? Similar like Netflix make new vision of border between client and server. Similar to these approaches, you should think like front-end developers, mobile or web developers. Right now, when I say front-end developers, I don't make any difference between them. They should utilize your backend in the most efficient way. So let's switch to backend for front-end approach. Again, the same idea and main idea of this talk, because every time when front-end start think how I should receive this data from backend, it make them pain. And I propose you start communication with front-end developers with approach specification first. When you receive from your product owner new feature, you should talk and use some specification. Actually, do you know these logos? Who knows? One, GraphQL? Yeah? The youngest one, guys, I believe, hipsters choose GraphQL. And the right one is Swagger, or new name is OpenAPI. And if you will check, you will see that for WebSockets, it's the middle logo. You can use Async API. What's the benefit of using some of this specification? You will have ability to describe your API as human and machine readable. You can use it for mocking your server. You can create automatically testing for that. And this specification first approach provides you ability to talk with front-end guys in interface language. Because any of this specification has requirements to describe your payload. As a result of that, you can easily compile any of that to TypeScript definition. If your front-end team don't use TypeScript, push them to use that. It's different type of talking. If you want just ask it in this part of stuff, or come to me and I will share with you what I use to step-by-step migrate from JavaScript-based application to TypeScript-based application. Actually, if you want, you also can generate your definition from your source code. But during communication with front-end guys, you can start to, okay, let's add this new endpoint or new field in body and use for that some of that tool. I believe GraphQL can help a lot with that, but it's like moving pain from one head to another. It's a moving complexity from front end to back end. And it's not trivial task. Maybe you don't need that, but you definitely should to know new trends in front-end development. Okay, next things what you should to think, it's control response time. When you check your project, please all the time use HTTP2 and GZIP. Not one of that, use both of them. And if you don't have HTTP2 on your project, you do something wrong. Right now, with HTTP2, we resolve problem of limit connection from browser to backend. With HTTP 1.1, you had this problem. The limit of connection is 4. You cannot have more than 4 connection from browser to a backend. For example, if you will try to open 5 different server-side event streams or web sockets, you will fail. HTTP2 will utilize the same connection several times, and it's awesome. Next thing is use REST with a tag, because, for example, I will demonstrate you like that. I hope you can easily read that from the last lines. So, if you will push front-end developers use a tag, you will fail. Why? Because front-end developers don't know regarding e-tags. And you don't need that because browsers think about that. It's awesome that you can make your application faster without any work from front-end guys. How it's work? When you first time make request to endpoint, by you I mean browser. When browser make first time request, in headers he can receive e-tags for these resources. And then next time when he will make request, he will automatically add this e-tag and server will answer. It's not modified. Use your own cache. Any stuff like HTTP2 push, etc., you don't need. Just check that your web server, I don't know, will you use Tomcat or Nginx or any of other web servers, just check that it provides e-tags. The last but not the least, it's more bigger type, but if you want, you can check for projects similar to Google Docs or any type when you have different users who work in real time with your data. You can check that they don't rewrite each other. Why? Because e-tags of state of resource can be precondition check when you want to change that. If browser doesn't have new e-tag, you will automatically fail, and browser or front-end developer should reload current state. Actually, this approach can be also used in microservices, so use that. E-tags, it's awesome. Also, I should share with you is that pre-computed data is better than cache, because actually in the software development there are only 2 types of problems. How I should name my variables and functions, and when I should revalidate the cache. It's more philosophical questions, but don't think about that. Use pre-computed data, Elasticsearch or Redis are awesome for that. And of course, if you have ownership of your production, in this case you should log and analyze long requests. So it's idea how to control response time. Actually, one more thing, let me check, can I do that? No, I will do it in question and answer time. Usually, many developers don't think regarding options request, what is one of problem for backend developers. They don't understand why request is longer than they expect. I will demonstrate it later. Just don't want to change slides. Okay, and next thing is, next idea for communication with front-end developers is prefer single protocol. Let's imagine situation, it's one of hype projects. It's like a trading project with Bitcoin or Ether or any crypto. You see on right part of the slide, latest race and order book. It should be automatically updated with WebSockets. And what problem? Common problem do you can have in such situation? You need live updates of trades and order book. If you will use approach, what usually, typically I see, you will use REST for reading initial state and use WebSocket for live subscription. Of course, we will not reiterate server every 5 or 3 seconds. If we don't need, we will use WebSocket. What you will have? You will have race condition. For example, if it's very rich latest rates history, you can receive 5, 10 every second. And as a result of that, front-end guys will need to resolve problem of race conditions. In some moment, they will not have at the list some orders, or maybe you will need to rerun it again and use single protocol. For such situation, when you need initial state and only events from server, your client don't need send any data, I advise you use event source. Right now, any browser support event source. It's protocol, what is text-based, and you can receive at browser subscription for free, because every time when you open some page with WebSockets, you need to create subscription here. Give me data only for this ticker. You can think regarding event source at REST, what will not close anytime, and you will stream your data from backend. It's not very popular technology because when it was only created, it was blocked by limitation of HTTP 1.1 protocol, when you cannot create more than 4 connections. Right now, this problem is already resolved, and when we rewrite it, the trading with such approach, it was working like a charm. Okay, next idea is choose the format carefully. I very often see problem when backend guys try to add some binary protocols without any needs. Actually, front-end guys very like using JSON because it's very human readable. As a result of that, backend guys say, no, we should use some protobuf or any other binary protocols. And all the time it's failed because development start being more complicated. During research, when we comparing, hey guys, we will have with JSON format 3 megabytes file. It's too big. Let's use some binary. It will be only 100 lines of protobuf stuff. But when you try to compare that, use zip. In this case, this comparing will be true. Without making zip JSON answers, it's wrong decision. Also, just for broadly is better for compressing JSON-based, and if your Nginx or what server do you use don't implement it broadly, update that. Any browser right now support broadly, and broadly can provide you significant change. It will be maybe in 2 times better for compressing your stuff. And also, when you think regarding serialization, JavaScript right now support big numbers. And it's very good when you're working with currencies data. But what problem you have? Big number cannot be converted. It's some funny picture. Yeah, choose JPG or SVG. I try to add some fun here, yeah. And yes, if a server requests data in one format, use accept header for choosing SVG on JPG. Yeah, I should change order of this stuff. And right now, at JavaScript, you have ability to write numbers in this way. You see this n, it's not Nikita, it's n like big number. And you can see that you can make some, in JavaScript, combination with this stuff you will receive without losing digits, but it cannot be stringified to JSON. So in this case, you can talk with front-end guys and choose how you will transcode this, because actually JSON is serialization and deserialization in human readable stuff. Okay. The last but not the least, create content in backend. Right now, when you're working with persons, they very often want to work from home, from remote, or maybe during traveling, and that's why provide front-end guys your backend as Dockerized application. So Minikube or Docker Compose will help them to make this work better without internet connection, or maybe without polluting with testing data your integration server. Of course, nobody right now working on production, maybe only WordPress developers. Okay. What also you should think regarding significant changes in your approach. First of all, if you don't use any approaches like GraphQL or RPC, you use REST. It's mature, it's work, you should use that for most tasks, but you should provide from front-end developers from the start ability to pagination of your data. You don't know at what moment collection of your users, orders, or any of that will be too big. And in this case, from design, use skip and take. Use ordering, use some ability to add or remove fields. In this case, your front-end developers will be happy. Before working with GraphQL, I all the time make this, and for me, it's not different from front-end guys when you provide them solution. They understand how they can receive this data from backend. One more thing. Usually when you think regarding receiving REST endpoint with single entity, you can easily understand how to do that. You will receive every part of your entity, but when you receive collection, usually backend guys only create array. And when we received a new feature from our product owner, something like, I want to see count of orders. As a result of that, front-end guys should make request, receive whole orders, even we have pagination, and only after that show in UI how many counts do you have. It's a bad approach. Right approach, when you answering this list or collection or any type of term what you will use when you answering not with single entity, you should, as backend developers, design in your web API ability to receive aggregated data. The best approach to use the same techniques what Elasticsearch use. For example, if you need average sum of orders or something like that, use the same approach, use the same terms, because they resolve the biggest problem in software development. How name these variables. Okay. Next things, of course, you should have versioning of your web application and use it for deprecation. One of biggest challenges in Java world, I think, is deprecate Java version and push you use new one. I scared today when I understand that 11 version of Java is paid version. Come on, who uses this? But when you have life cycle of your versions, and when you designed first version and you say in 1 year it will be deprecated, And it's very cool when inside your enterprise you have whole vision of life cycle of your backend API. Don't think like your web API it's only internal. All the time, business go and say, oh, we have cool web API, let's make this public. Fucking, it's impossible. There are so many bugs inside that. We have documentation, but it's only for internal use. So think about versioning. And very big benefit for backend developers if receive more money, because web API, it's the best place for storing domain knowledge on your project. Regarding domain driven design, I think there is very good talk from Dmitro Naumenko, and it's from PHP World, and it's very easy to read. It's on Russian, but I make some joke for PHP developers, and please count this link as I'm sorry for this joke, guys. And summary. Make faster development for whole team. Don't calculate efficiency of your team only during your coding. Now nobody calculate efficiency for single developer. Now every business calculate efficiency fast of development by whole team. Save your colleagues' time. Move border between client and server. Remove this border. You should be able to understand what's going in JavaScript code, and they should be able to read your specification. Provide the specification. Control small responsive time. And right now, it's time to questions. If you didn't use the QR code right now, please do that. And I will try to answer your questions. Okay, I think this is done. This is done. Java is awesome. It's a result of wrong stuff. JavaScript, come on. Quack, quack. Python, it's wrong window, guy. But right conference. YAML. Who is writing YAML? Come on, I want to receive more questions. Could you add more questions here and use, of course, microphone, because it's Q&A time, and also we have 5-10 minutes for answering your questions. Okay, what document should I use for REST? I believe right now answer to this question is Swagger. 2-3 years ago, I provide you to use RAML, because RAML is REST plus YAML, and it's stuff what was created by, let me just demonstrate you to this stuff, I think it will be better. Actually, don't pull a question, please. Yeah, it's definitely. Hey guys, nobody have question to me. What document should I use? It was my example question. Can we start using microphone? Because right now I don't receive enough questions here, and flexibility fields and order. 0. Because I have this from scratch with my technique what I use. If you want to make the same stuff, please use GraphQL. It's from the scratch, provide you ability to receive what you request. Did I answer on this question? Oh, come on. I will pattern backend for frontend, it's pattern. I talking regarding this is approach. Did you read the description of the talk? My idea don't make developer things. And actually, when you use this approach, you will have this pattern by default. I don't understand who answered this question. Oh, okay, please.
Hello, my name is Pavel, and I'm Java developer. In our project, we used such framework like Formally. Do you know, maybe do you hear about it?
Formally, what business problems this framework resolve?
This is not for resolving business problem. I think the guys who works previously, they did it because of they would like to provide some configuration on the front end from backend, because you know what is framework do. And so, in your opinion, is it reasonable to use such approach to resolve UI problem, I mean?
Sorry, I don't understand what problems this framework resolve. Could you elaborate?
We resolve for example, you would like to make some configuration on UI, and you set up this configuration from backend. The backend developer make decision what will show on front end, and after some action.
I think, if I understand you right, you use feature toggles for front end, what should dictate by backend, correct?
Yes, yes.
I think it's right decision. It's very right decision because you don't share business logic between backend and front end. As a result of that, front end guys should think less. Actually, you can use canary release with such technique, and only small amount of clients will be affected by new features. You can use it for technical feature flags or business flags. So my understanding is this right.
Actually, we use it. Actually, all works for front-end developer consist from developing a new call service for calling new REST. You just send a form on your UI, and front-end developer develops only call service.
Okay.
And you think it's okay, yeah?
Okay.
Thank you.
I believe I answered on this question. What about testing and integration REST? Yes, if you use some tool like Swagger, in this case, I will open right now. I will open and give me additional windows. Come on. Okay, it will be Safari just for opening. Every developer use Chrome, but time to time I should switch to another Windows. So right now I try to answer on my own question what I should use to have documentation for REST. There are two different specifications for REST. What I like, it's RAML. It was open sourced by MuleSoft. Maybe you know this small company. And right now we don't receive a lot contributors on that, and Swagger is better. If you will check Dread, it's like film with movie Sudhya Dread. I think everybody saw that, but it's for REST testing. You can read. I will make font bigger. You see this logo? Yeah. You can read Swagger as right now. Right name of that is OpenAPI version 3, and you can write hooks on any language. I don't know why we don't have Java here, but you can use something on other languages here. And actually, testing REST, not business logic by contract. It's according arrange, act, assert approach. You need prepare what endpoint you should query. You should create body, and after receiving, act all the time the same. You can check that you received right code, right payload, right format payload, and Dread is awesome to do that. Actually, second approach, what can you use for that is using Postman hooks. And if you didn't use Postman before, I don't believe you backend developer who implement REST. So this is two technique what can improve your testing. I don't understand what platform of OpenAPI do you mean. Could you elaborate? You may do it in Russian. Who make question this? Oh, he escaped the room after I make a question. Okay. Timestamps should be strings. I believe the best what you can do according to ideas what I shared with you right now is ask your front-end developers. They will respect you when you will ask them, what do you prefer, timestamps or strings? I prefer to use numbers because size of answering is better. But I'm backend developers. My front-end developers prefer to use strings because they are more human readable. That's why just ask them. Dmitry, thank you for question. I don't know what is that. Sorry, I will skip this question. If you want, just go to me and let's discuss it. Apiary by Oracle was awesome on the start. Right now, it's not very mature because nobody uses it as much as Swagger. So Apiary was awesome. Right now, we don't receive, similar to RAML, a lot investment from community or from business. That's why right now I think you shouldn't use it. Any preference to use instead? They are different, but I believe if you use both of them, REST of WebSockets, in one moment you can receive REST condition, what I shared. And if you will use only one of that, WebSocket for receiving data, it's not so easy to testing, but it's also approach what you can use. So REST instead WebSockets, it's problem that you will make too many requests to backend. Of course, strings. Why? Because in this case, you can easily migrate from one IDs to another. Right now, because I'm using mix of techniques, I try to all the time use strings. What benefit I received? As a result of that, migration my project to GraphQL is more easy. Because front-end guys who, if it's senior person, he use TypeScript on front-end. If he don't know TypeScript, he will use when he will senior person. So there are two different types in any language. And that's why using string is better. You can receive big benefits of caching your data with strings because you can make IDs unique. And one of the biggest problems for adapting GraphQL is using caching, because with REST you received caching for free. This stuff what I demonstrate you with e-text, one example. Second example, you can make caching via headers in answers. As a result of such problem to adapt GraphQL, Apollo, one of the my favorite clients for GraphQL, can provide you caching by IDs, but numbers definitely will not be unique. You will need to recreate these IDs and payloads with new type of its complexity, will be additional complexity. Okay, I answer of that. Platform OpenAPI. Yeah. Micro profile as well. I don't know. I don't understand. For the first time I read as use microphone. Who can elaborate these questions? Okay, could you give microphone to this guy? It's question. It's answer your question. Did you ask this question? Okay. I answer on this one. I think, could you elaborate via microphone? What is it, micro profiles, do you mean?
first of all, you told about it was Swagger and each API. After that, Swagger evolute and start contribute to the community and will create a specification which names Open API.
Okay.
So Open API, it's a new standard for a backend developer, and in the Eclipse microprofile methodology, it's implemented as well. So all you need to use Swagger is just add few annotation to your
exactly.
web services.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I should highlight one more time. Current approach is creating specification from your source code. There are two different techniques. First technique, specification created first. And then you should test all the time that your implementation, this specification is right. Second approach is use your source code as single source of truth of your web API. And based on your source code and some decorators in your code, make ability to automatically create this specification. You shared right now, if I understand right, for Java developers what they should use for achieve that as for free. I believe it's right approach. And right now, all the time when you think regarding some specification, you just need to think how you will test that. Okay. Thank you for adding this question. And Victor asked how we serialize big number to JSON. Right now, JSON doesn't have ability to serialize big number, but you can say that big number should be deserialized from strings, and any of the strings should have pattern like numbers, 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 and the last letter is N. And right now, it should have additional work on front-end side. They should check regularity mask on that and deserialize. It's a trivial task, and you can easily Google that. Regarding race conditional in mixing protocols, event sourcing is only server-client protocol, but initial state of connection, if of course request from client. And do you send full data all the time? No. Initial state received from first answer from the server, and then subscription provide you ability to resend data. Please read this if event sourcing to Mozilla MDN and check how it's cool, because right now I saw several games in browser with such approach, and when you lost your connection, you don't need resend all data from backend, because automatically browser, front-end guys don't need to think about this feature. Browser will automatically send last ID of message, if you of course send that as backend developer. And as a result of that, when you have new connection with the same browser who already knows some data, you can, as backend developer, just send updates after this current state. It's very cool stuff. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, it's all questions? Yeah? Okay, that's all guys. Thank you so much.